All right. There it is. NBA champion Nikola Jokic. I know I'm a few days late. Here we are in episode 50 of the Sort of Sports podcast. I just got back from Europe yesterday. Was going to record, but I didn't think anybody wanted to hear me talk yesterday. I was absolutely whipped from that 8-hour flight. And while I was in Europe, Jokic pretty much defined that he's the best player in the league. I got to admit it. When I did my player rankings at the beginning of the year, I put him third. I think I said on the podcast about halfway through the year, I was like, yeah, I think Jokic definitely is the second best player in the league after Giannis. And I think with this entire playoff run, I mean, winning it in 5 games, I originally predicted 6, hoping it would go 7. I mean, gosh, the 5 games is sick. A gentleman's sweep in the finals. They also chose the correct uniforms to win it in. Those city jerseys are mwah, mwah. Beautiful. Love that. It's the best looking Nuggets jersey they have. Once they have my shirt. See, they were out of larges when I went to order this shirt I think I tried to order it in like February, a Jokic shirt. It was whenever I recorded that pod where I basically announced that I love Jokic and he's like my second favorite player in the league. Right after I recorded that, I was going to order a shirt and they did not have it my size. And to this day, they don't. And so I'm just going to have to continue to wait for that Jokic shirt to come in my size. But, whatever. And it was actually that exact jersey. So I would have had I could have twinned with Jokic. But yeah, it was a shame that, I was in Europe when this went on, so I didn't get to watch it live. But a big thank you to my girlfriend, G. She recorded the entire celebration. Not the entire, but she recorded the final seconds. And she stayed up to watch it and sent me a little video. And so thank you to her. I really appreciate it. I watched that the next morning. And basically I saw Jokic wins finals, and then I watched that video, and that was entertaining for me. And so I had a little piece of watching it. So thank you to her for doing that for me. That was very nice. And I got to kind of experience the moment when they won the finals, which is crazy. I mean, 5 games, sheesh. And so I have some notes. This is kind of this is my off the cuff part of this. So let me go to my notes. I don't know. I wasn't going to pop champagne like I did for the Bucks finals. I think that one was one of my most enthusiastic podcasts ever because I got to watch that. So that's a little different. If I was home and the Nuggets had won it in 5, I think I would have came down about an hour or 2 after it was over, recorded at 12 o'clock at night, and given you a super amped up pod. But because I was in Europe and it's been 5 days since they won it, I'm a little less amped up than what I would have been. So I'm sorry to disappoint anyone. 5 days exactly. They won on a Monday night. So sorry to disappoint, but I don't think we're going to pop champagne. It's a little late for that. Obviously, the whole shenanigans that went on with Jokic and forgetting the trophy and all that. And I understand there's a little bit of hate on Jokic because his whole bit is the fact that he I don't know how to describe it. His completely laid-back mentality. It's like anti-LeBron James, where instead of being oh, yeah, basketball is my life, and da-da-da-da, and all the things LeBron says, his entire Jokic. His entire bit is just being an uber relaxed, yeah, I'm good at basketball type of guy. And I know some people don't like that, but honestly, I think it's great. And I think it doesn't seem fake like that at the parade when he's I don't want to leave this parade. I know I said I didn't want to be here, but now I never want to leave. Talking about the parade. I'm he's just got a fun personality. He's got that laid back mentality. And I think it's fun that we have a guy in the league who doesn't act I don't even know how to describe it. I'm saying it's fun to have a guy with a different mentality, and it doesn't seem like a fake mentality. It's legitimately the way he acts, and I think it's fun. And I think we should be supportive of the fact that if Jokic's life really is, I like playing in the league, but honestly, my favorite thing is when I'm home away from work, I can respect that. And I think, it's obviously up to personal opinion. I can't tell you how to feel, but to me, I think it's kind of funny that that's the way he is. And, when he forgot the finals MVP trophy, to me, that's humorous. And I really love the guy. He's got a unique personality, and he's not afraid to be himself. And I think, we should be supportive of the fact that, every player is different. It's funny because, guys will make fun of Giannis for giving a big speech after they lose, but then those same people turn around and make fun of Jokic for having an overly relaxed mentality. So To me, it's one of those where no matter what goes on, people are going to hate on the player's personality, especially when they just lost to this guy who everybody's like, oh, well, the Nuggets had an easy path to the finals. One of the least impressive rings I've seen in a while. That's all crap. I mean, this is a hell of a playoff run by the Nuggets. I think Jokic cemented himself, as I said at the beginning of the pod, as the best player in the league. I think it's probably one of the title of this pod is he's the best player in the league. Because as much as I love Giannis, he's 2 right now. After seeing this run from Jokic, I mean, Murray's been a great co-star for him. You can't underrate Jamal Murray. The entire team is a really well-built team that way. They all complement Jokic perfectly, but he brings everybody up, and that's, to me, the definition of a great player, is he plays within the team and elevates everybody, not just himself, and I think that's the best thing about Jokic, and that's why he's truly the most valuable player. Like, it's one of those where it's like Jamal Murray said, the meme where it's him and Embiid running, and Embiid gets the MVP trophy, but Jokic is running ahead to the Larry O'Brien one. That is actually completely accurate to the way this season felt, where it's like the whole year it was the Jokic versus Embiid debate, and then it was like Embiid got the MVP. There's a little bit of talk where it's like, I think it should have been Jokic. Like, me included, I was like, I kind of wish it was Jokic, but I get it. Then after this finals run, I was like, nah, Jokic deserved it. He's better. And so that's awesome. So, yeah, and now the big thing going around on Twitter is like, has there ever been a debate lost as clearly as this Embiid-Jokic one? And I think that's funny. There's been a lot of people like showing different ones, but honestly, this Embiid-Jokic debate, it's hard for me to think of a sports argument that got ended that definitively and that quickly. Within the span of 2 months, it was like a very hot debate, who's better, and now it's very abundantly clear who the better player is, and I think I'm really happy that I shifted my opinion, because I used to be, like an Embiid lover and a Jokic hater in the span of 2 years. You can literally listen to old pods. You can watch my opinion change from this guy being a guy that I really didn't like that much and thought was overrated to being my second favorite player and one of my favorite athletes in general. I mean, I think if there's anyone who's ever going to dethrone Giannis as my favorite athlete, Jokic would probably be my top pick. I mean, he's great, and I love him, and I was super excited they won, and I don't think this is going to be the only one for them. I mean, we're going to talk about that more later. What did I say? First thing I want to do is my thank you. Oh, yes. Okay, I know what my next topic is. But, yeah, just overall talks, I'm really happy the Nuggets won it. I know I'm not, like, jumping for joy, popping champagne bottles like I did for the Bucks, but like I said, we're a little bit days removed, so I had some more time to recollect my thoughts, and so I think that's led to a little more relaxed pod. But honestly, I think that's what Jokic would want, with a more relaxed pod. It fits more with this Nuggets team and the Jokic vibe. So that parade was sweet, though. He got hyped for the parade, and that's great. So maybe I'll do a pod a couple days from now where I'm just going crazy like they did with their parade. I know I talked about maybe doing something new, like a new idea I had. I think I'm going to wait till after the draft. Right now, my plan is I'm recording this today, and then within the next couple days, probably within 2 to 3 days, I'm going to have up my NBA mock draft. And then we'll have the draft review. So I have a lot to say about my dog, Victor Wembanyama, but I'm going to save that. This is the Nuggets episode. Nuggets focus today. So I also read a book. I might talk about that in the next pod. This pod is really just Nuggets focused because that's how it should be. So if I do that new thing I was talking about, it'll probably be after, probably episode 53, 54 range, because I got NBA draft stuff now. We all know I love the NBA draft. All right, so Jokic did not average triple-double in the finals. He averaged double-double. He had double digits in points and rebounds. Let me pull up, honestly, Jokic finals average, because he had a great series. All right, here we go. 30 points, 14 rebounds, 7.2 assists, and 1.4 steals. So Jokic averaging a steal a game. What a guy. He shot 58% from the field, 42% from the line, which is... Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. I was like, 42% from the line? Oh my gosh, what was he doing? Why did they list it like that? 42% from the line is what they meant from 3. Wow. That's... Wow. 42% from 3. Sorry, that just took me back. 83.8% from the free throw line. So much better much better than I thought. But yeah, during the playoffs, he averaged 9.5 assists. So rounding up, he would have averaged a triple-double if you round up, but like they probably wouldn't have counted that if they just did his playoff stats. But as far as finals goes, he needed more assists to average triple-double, which has never been done. But 30 points, 14 rebounds, I mean, that's crazy. I think in the last, 5 years, right, because I think that Kawhi, to me, the NBA completely shifted that 2019 playoffs. It was like the end of that super team era and the start of what we're in now, what I would just call the Hood Classic era. Like, we were in this super competitive NBA with all these great stories. Like, I think we're in a prime time of the NBA right now, and I really hope this era continues for a while, where it's just you don't know who's really going to win it every year, and there's a lot of competitiveness, and there's a lot of great things. Like, these guys that are in this era right now, like your Giannis and Jokic, Luka, I would say Curry and LeBron kind of too. Like, these guys that are like, but the main players of this era are like probably like Luka, Giannis, and Jokic are like the big three I think of. I know you should probably say Embiid before Luka, but we all know that Luka is gonna have a run at some point. He's so talented. But this era, these guys aren't gonna have 5 and 6 rings. They're gonna have whatever guy has 3 rings from this era is gonna be considered the best because it's super competitive. There's not a team that repeats. It's hard to get to the finals even back-to-back years. We have yet to see a team go to the finals back-to-back years. We've seen teams like the Heat go 2 and 3 years, but we have yet since that 2019 spot seen a team go to the finals back-to-back years. So I think that's really interesting. And we've had 5 different champions in the last 5 years, and I just think we're in a great place at the NBA right now. We're ultra competitive, and I hope this continues, really. I think the Nuggets, I guess I'll talk about that later. I'll just say it now. I think I've said it before in the pod. Maybe I haven't, but I say a lot of things, so can't really remember. I think the Nuggets have a real chance to be the Spurs of this era, where it's every year they have that main set of guys like Jokic and Murray. They said Bruce Brown's going to be sticking around. I hope they can pull that off because I really like Bruce Brown on this team. He fits great. Jokic, Murray, Bruce Brown, probably Will Barton. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. Aaron Gordon, and MPJ, that's a main, did I just name 6 guys? 5 guys? That's a core that's bigger than most teams would consider their core. For the Bucks core, it's as far as when you think Bucks, you're going to think of Lopez, Middleton, Drew, and Giannis. It would be very weird if one of those guys weren't there. Whereas with the Nuggets, I named 5 to 6 guys. It even feels like it'd be weird if Jeff Green or maybe even KCP. Those type of guys I could see sticking around for a long time. And I think that's really something special when you got a large group that you could just see being there for a long time and competing every year and not leaving. And I think that's part of the thing that went into this Nuggets team being built is, they didn't waver when Murray got injured and was out for a whole year. And they went to the Western Conference Finals in 2020, then they lost in the second round the next year and the first round the next year. But they didn't blow it up. They didn't make any big moves. They just tried to build and stick to what they thought was going to work, and then it eventually did, and it came together. They improved, and it's off the back of Jokic, honestly, but you got to give a lot of credit to Jamal Murray. I mean, he wore that shirt during the parade. I thought it was great. It was Bubble Murray, Playoff Murray, Champion Murray, and I really liked that because he's it makes me think of the interview he did early on in the playoffs when they were like, oh, is Bubble Murray back? And he's like, no, I'm just that good. You just haven't seen me at this level in a bit. And he's like, this is actually how I always play. It wasn't a bubble thing. And I really like that from Murray. Hopefully he gets an all-star appearance next year. He's yet to be an all-star, which is really weird when you think about how high of quality basketball he was playing. When I would name best co-stars in the league right now, best duos, him and Jokic got to be top 3 for most talented duos. Are they 1? I mean, it'd be okay, best duos. Are you going to put KD Booker above them? Because personally, I wouldn't. Giannis and Middleton, I would take Murray over Middleton any day. And I already said Jokic is better than Giannis right now. It's Tatum Brown is probably a decent argument. But even then, I'm not a big Tatum guy, so I wouldn't say that. LeBron, AD's hurt all. I honestly think there's an argument they have the best duo in the league. I mean, that's part of me saying that because it's a finals. They just won the finals. But, I mean, this is I think no one would debate me that this is a top 3 duo, but honestly, I think it's probably the best duo in the league talent-wise at the moment, and that's really something to say. So, honestly, they have a great core around them. If they can keep this core, I could see the Nuggets, every year being competitive, and Jokic and this. If Jokic stays here the rest of his career and this core stays around, you could probably keep this core and compete with them for the next 4 to 5 years. Like, it's not a very old core. And Jokic is obviously not that old himself. I think he's like 27 or 28. Like, him and Giannis are both relatively young. He's probably still got 6 years in his prime, which is crazy. I could see this team winning 2 more chips, honestly. And then, like, Jokic goes on a farewell tour, retires with 4. Like, would that cement him as the best big man ever? I mean, I'm getting really ahead of myself. I know that. I think that would cement him as the best center ever. But offensively, at least. Like, offensively, he is incredible. I think he's the best offensive player in the league right now. The argument of Giannis over him is the fact that Giannis is, in my opinion, like the best defender in the league. And he's got to be like top 5, top 3 offense. Right, top 5. I think there's an argument for, you could probably name 4 guys better maybe. So I think that's the argument of Giannis over Jokic, but Jokic being the best offensively, just clearing away, the most efficient and smart player in the league. I mean, he does everything right on offense, and he legitimately rebounds. Like, him being the triple-double king feels very earned. It doesn't feel like Russell Westbrook on the Wizards. It feels like, he's playing winning basketball and getting triple-doubles, and he's getting triple-doubles because he's an incredible player. And so I think Jokic is on a path to have an insane legacy with this team because, I talk about the Bucks a lot, but you want to talk about a team that they stick together, I have a lot of faith in, it's the Nuggets. Like, the Bucks team currently cannot stay this way for the next 5 years. They have to make moves. And I'm not sure what they are because I don't want to move out of Middleton. I really like Middleton, and I really like Drew, but there needs to be a way to improve. Whereas with the Nuggets, it's like, if you don't make a significant change, like, I don't really think it's a concern. I think Michael Porter Jr. will improve. I think Bruce Brown will improve. I think Aaron Gordon has room to improve. Jamal's definitely going to get better. And Jokic, I don't see him getting worse. I don't know how he'd get better. Probably defensively, right? So, this team, all your best guys are either about to be in their prime or in their prime. So, your older guys are just like Jeff Green and KCP. They're just like role players for you. They're not main parts. So you can stick with this team for a while and compete for a long time. And I know I've been tweeting stuff about them being the new Spurs, and I keep making jokes about that Western Conference Finals being Wemby and Jokic is going to cook in a couple years. I'm being dead serious. That stuff will be awesome. I will love that. Oh my gosh. I got a lot of Wemby stuff to say for the draft pod, but I'm just going to make it clear now. I'm already decided. I'm just going to be a Wemby stan. I'm already committed to it. I'm now automatically going to be my 3rd favorite player in the league. Like, just like that, like instantly, boom. Because I don't feel like spending my life hating on this guy when he's going to dominate. And, which would be funny because that'll be my 3 favorite players are all European. The only player of mine, the one who's not, I'm not allowed to say Shake's my number 1 because it's such an obvious answer. But, Shake would be like my only favorite player that, is American. So it's just kind of funny. It shows like how the NBA's grown internationally. But yeah, my 3 favorite players would all be European players. But I've already decided like Wemby's going to be my 3rd favorite player. I'm super excited for Wembanyama. And when him and Jokic are going to face off Western Conference Finals, and then the winner goes to play Giannis in the finals, oh my gosh, I'm going to have it made. I'll have it made. And even if it's not in the Giannis in the finals, maybe it's my Cavs. So I just got it made league-wise. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I got a lot of Wembanyama stuff to talk about next pod. Right now we're talking about the Nuggets and my dog Jokic. But I'm being legitimate when I say I could see his team competing for the next 5 years with this core and getting, 1 to 2 more chips. And I don't want to, talk about Jokic's legacy while it's in the middle of being written, but gosh, that'd be a hell of a resume. You got to think he's going to win another MVP at some point. Like, this team has a real chance to be something special, and I think we're going to see it. I think a 5-game finals win. This team reminded a lot of people I know the 2014 Spurs, and I agree. But imagine if the 2014 Spurs, everybody was like 8 years younger. That's crazy. So I don't think this team has a Kawhi lurking that's going to become like a Finals MVP level player. But other than that, I could see a lot of similarities. And I do think Jamal Murray is better than Tony Parker. Love Tony Parker, but Jamal Murray is better. So, Manu's better than Aaron Gordon or MPJ, though, we'll say. The Aaron Gordon shirtless partying with the fans, awesome. Loved it. Obviously, if you're paying attention, you saw that all the stuff's been changed to Jokic with the Finals MVP. Going to rock with that for at least a year. If they repeat next year somehow, it'll just become him again. The Shake era was excellent, and I loved it, but I had to commemorate the fact that Jokic won the Finals. If the Heat would have won the Finals, nothing would have changed. I don't think it would have changed anybody unless I really fall in love with some team winning the World Series. There was a chance it was going to become Bryce Young. If Bryce Young wins Rookie of the Year, we'll see. But for the time being, I don't think it's going to change until the next NBA Finals. Because if the Nuggets don't win the Finals next year, like let's say it's some random team, let's say like I don't want to say it and then manifest it. That's why I don't want to say Suns. That'd be gross. Who could legit win the Finals next year that I wouldn't absolutely love it? Because the Bucks and Nuggets the two obvious ones in my mind. Let's say the Celtics win the Finals next year. I'm not going to put a Celtic player up there. No way. So, I'd probably just take it down and put Shake up or something. Because it'd be weird to rock with Jokic holding the Finals MVP when that's a year old and there's a new Finals MVP. That just wouldn't sit right. So, I don't know why I'm telling you all this, but if you care even a slight bit, I appreciate it. You're a big fan. So, I know I have more I want to say. I guess I did want to linger on the fact that the 5-year thing I was talking about. You think about those Finals MVPs. The Kawhi playoff run is the best playoff run in the last 5 years, hands down. I'd say this is the only one I think you could argue, but because Kawhi's got that buzzer beater, to me that's the best. That is the best playoff run in the last 5 years. Then, as far as Finals MVP goes, I think this is second, but I think the Giannis Finals MVP is the most valuable because he had that 50-point night in Game 6, and they were down 2-0. So I think the comeback of it when they they were down 2-0 and then they won 4 straight, I think Giannis has to be Finals MVP, especially because there was a whole injury thing and all that. And when Chris Paul tried to take out his legs and he dunked over him, I think Giannis had the best Finals MVP performance, but I'd say Jokic is second. I'd say if I had to rank the Finals MVPs, it's probably Giannis 1, Jokic 2, then it's got to be Curry 3, I guess. And then I'd like to put Kawhi over LeBron, but I would think Fred VanVleet got a Finals MVP vote, and all the other ones are unanimous. So I guess LeBron 4 and Kawhi 5, but Kawhi had the best playoff run. I think his Finals was honestly the least interesting, but his playoff run was legendary. That's what's funny is everybody remembers that ring by the Sixers game and the games against the Bucks. No one remembers it off the Warriors games, which is just really weird. I think there's a part of that might go on with this team, though. I think a lot of people are going to remember this Nuggets run by the Lakers games. The shot over AD, the 3. A lot of people are going to remember this Nuggets team off the Lakers series, which is funny because that was their easiest series. That was their sweep. So you would think people would remember it off the Suns series or even maybe the Timberwolves series or the finals. But I think the Lakers series is the defining series, even though that was not the one team, but I'm saying that was a team that they cooked the easiest. So that's wild, but it's funny. Yeah, 5 different champions in 5 years. It hasn't happened since the late 70s, early 80s. I already said Jokic's resume is crazy. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes right now. Jokic's resume is crazy. Two MVPs, 2 MVPs, 1 Finals MVP, obviously 1 chip, and he's got a lot left in the tank. I put Jokic over Embiid. Already talked about that. The Nuggets outlook, I said they're the new Spurs. I feel this team's guaranteed to get at least 1 more ring. I feel that's a lock. Because when you think about the future of the NBA, it's the Bucks got to get their stuff together. The Sixers have to take something new to get better. I don't see the Celtics, if they eventually figure their stuff out, are a threat. But I don't know if I really want to bet on that, them getting their stuff together. And then the Heat, are going to make a big move this offseason. They're probably going to go out and get Beal. I'll talk about that more on the draft episode. And so then it's like, okay, if the Nets got a really high quality player, the Nets could be scary because they're built very well to have like a superstar with them. But I don't know who they're going to get or when they're going to get them. So I'm not going to bet on that. So that's the Eastern Conference teams. Like really all the Cavs, if Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley take a step up, the Cavs could beat them. Like the Cavs could be a championship level team. But Mobley has to take the next step. And I think Donovan has to step up too. I mean, Donovan has to be that go-to scorer, and Mobley has to be an all-NBA caliber player. That's the way the Cavs win the finals. You have to have that go-to guy, and Mitchell has to be that guy. And Mobley has to be, one of the best big men in the league. So, that's a reality for the Cavs. And those, like the Knicks, if there's a world where the Knicks win the championship, they have to have a better centerpiece. Like, it can't just be Brunson running everything. Brunson and someone. Can Brunson really be the best player on a championship team? I don't think so. Like, I think he works perfectly like Jamal Murray does to Jokic, but I don't know who Brunson's Jokic is. Maybe they go out and get Zion. I don't know what package they use to get Zion, but maybe that's what goes on. But, as far as that goes, the East, the Bucks are really the team that you see going to the finals in the next couple of years. Like, the Bucks and the Celtics would obviously be your two picks, but both those teams got major things they got to figure out. The Heat, would be a great pick, but, they're going to make a move. And, Spoelstra's probably, I think what's cool about this finals is that, to me, it was the two best coaches in the league going at it, which I really liked. That was cool to see two legitimate coaches going at it because Spoelstra's a legit coach. So is Mike Malone. Mike Malone's probably my favorite coach in the league. Just over this run, he's just become my favorite. I love his personality, and I like the way he's helped construct this roster, and I like what he's done with it. And obviously, he's built Jokic up, and that's really impressive. So, I thought that was cool. Spoelstra and Mike Malone. I think most people consider Spoelstra the best. I understand that thought process. I would agree. Spoelstra's got to be the best coach in the league. With just the way he gets players that you never even expect to play that way, like play so well. Like Gabe Vincent, for example. It's just crazy. So, I'd say Mike Malone's two, but Mike Malone's still a great coach. And, he's got his first ring. I think he's going to get more with this team. I could see Malone just being a career Nugget. Same thing with Jokic and maybe Murray I could eventually see leaving, but honestly I don't. I feel like this team's going to be the same for like a long time. I don't think Jokic will ever leave, which is cool. But if we switch over to the West, it's like, the Suns are going to make some move probably. I mean, they already released Chris Paul. They're going to make an aggressive move, and I don't really think it's going to work for them because they got the same thing where it's like unless Booker somehow takes the next step and becomes that go-to level guy that's just – I don't think Booker's going to be the best player on a championship team, and I don't see KD – I don't know. There's something weird that goes on with KD. His legacy is so messed up. Like, I have no faith in him. Then it's like the Clippers, we've going into year 5 of don't count these two out. Everybody always like, oh, the Clippers, and never pans out. The Lakers aren't going to win the finals. Like, it's just not going to happen. They're going to be worse than next year. The Mavericks got to figure their stuff out. Like, there's a real window where, unless the Warriors somehow just come back next year killing it, that the Nuggets win again. Like, that's legit. So, they look just far and away the best. I mean, obviously, we'll see what goes on this offseason. It feels like Bradley Beal's going to end up on the Heat. I don't think the Blazers are magically going to snap their fingers and become a contender. Who knows what's going to go on with Damian Lillard. There's a lot of things that are going to be different next year. And so I'm saying consistency might win. And so the Nuggets might be the first team since the Warriors to go back-to-back. And that'd be crazy. We're just the first team to be in the finals back-to-back years since the Warriors. That hasn't happened yet either. So, all right, what else did I want to talk about? Oh, yeah, blind pick for 2024. Here's my problem when I make my blind pick for next year. I feel like the Nuggets are the safest bet to win the finals next year based off everything I talked about, right? But if they play the Bucks, I think they lose. Like, if I'm picking the Bucks to get their stuff together, if Giannis goes against Jokic, I think there's no one on that Nuggets team that's going to be able to slow down Giannis. If the Bucks can get to that point. And I think Jokic and Murray can outperform Giannis and the Bucks. But I think Giannis, I guess I should go, I did just say Jokic has cemented himself as the best player in the league. But for anybody who sees what Giannis is posting with him in the buzz cut, and he just looks locked in, like it looks scary. Like, it feels like this loss to the Heat is like the LeBron Mavericks loss, where he's just going to, like, lock in. And so I don't want to bet against there's a large part of me that's like, I just feel like Giannis is going to be on some scary stuff next year. And the Nuggets part, like the logical part of me is going, okay, the Nuggets are going to be consistent. Every other team's going to be making major moves. They're the best pick. But my heart's telling me Giannis looks scary. So my blind pick for next year is going to be Bucks over Nuggets, which is literally what I predicted for the finals this year. So it's not like I'm making hot takes. I mean, I'm literally naming my favorite player and my second favorite player going against each other, and I'm picking my favorite player to win. So we're not exactly making genius sports calls out here. Do not call DraftKings and put money on the Bucks just because I said that. Not exactly a hot take either. You're taking the two best players and have them in the finals. Wow. But that is what I could see going on. And if the Bucks don't get their stuff together, whatever team comes out of the East is going to get cooked by the Nuggets. Like, I feel like I don't see a world with this. Like, the Celtics are a very bad matchup for the Nuggets. Like, I will say, there's a world where I see the Celtics beating the Nuggets, but I just don't like what the Celtics got going on at all. I think they're gross. So any other team other than the Bucks, I would just take the Nuggets over them. I think the Nuggets are firmly going to run the West next year. So be rooting for that Spurs, like, 6th seed. Just out the gate. Like, don't even go to the play-in of Wemby. Just go straight to the playoffs. What dogs. Obviously, we'll see what goes on. It's going to be a crazy offseason. The NBA always seems to have crazy offseasons. It's always fun. And I think continue this competitive mentality. I mean, I like the fact that even though it's very clear that I think the Nuggets are going to go into next year as the best team, we said that about the Warriors last year. So, I'd much rather prefer if the Nuggets stayed good. And I think they will. I think there's a lot more consistency there than with the Warriors last year. I think there was some. Now we know, like, hindsight's 20/20, but it's like, Clay's slowed down and Poole had a rough season. Like, there were different things where it's like, oh, well, Steph was really the consistent piece that was holding that together. Whereas the Nuggets, I don't get that feeling. Like, I don't feel like Murray's just going to show up next year and not be as good, or Aaron Gordon's just going to show up next year and not be as, like, I don't get that vibe from them. But granted, I get that vibe from the Warriors last year, so maybe I'm just talking, I think I'm just kind of saying whatever, because in reality, I don't know. But I just got a feeling that this Nuggets team's going to be the same next year and be probably in the finals again. I don't really see a team whipping them. So, could Jokic win MVP next year? Maybe. We'll see. I don't see, like, a new team coming up, really. I don't really see the Mavericks figuring it out. That would, like, that would be the team to me. Or, like, the Heat getting Beal, maybe. But, like, even then, I prefer the Bucks. If the Bucks really lock in and something like Giannis just locks in and they make some sort of small change at, like, the shooting guard spot and they get a quality guy there, as much as I like Grayson Allen, I think you do a better guy there. I think the Bucks got something legit going. I think Giannis is going to be on something special next year. Might be seeing an MVP year from Giannis. But that'll all come in due time. Right now it's time to celebrate a 5-game NBA Finals, which is just crazy. A 5-game win. Jokic cementing himself as the best player in the league. And just really everything that's gone on, it's been great. And, yeah, I'm just really happy that the Nuggets won it. I couldn't be more proud of Jokic and this entire team. All that Jokic hate needs to stop. Quit underrating him. NBA 2K, this man better be on the cover. We better get a Nike shoe now. I mean, he's literally the best player in the NBA, and he doesn't have a shoe. Austin Reeves has his own shoe now. He just signed with, like, a Chinese company, a Chinese company, a company from China, just made an Austin Reeves shoes, and yet the best player in the league, a 2-time MVP, finals MVP, and he doesn't have his own shoe. So come on. There's literally a Nike a Nike billboard of him in New York now, and yet he doesn't have his own shoe. Announce the shoe, put him on the cover of 2K. Don't make it 3 different players, and Jokic is on one of them. Jokic should be on all of them except the Legend Edition. I understand you're going to do some retired player for the Legend Edition. Fine. Jokic better be on the cover of 2K. Start marketing him more, because this guy's great. He's the new Tim Duncan, where he's got the different personality, and some people love it, some people hate it. Oh, I love it. And let's market him more than the league did Tim, because this guy's going to go down as one of the best to play it. Like, I'm being serious. Like, I think there's a real chance here, and we look back on this era. I said for a while, it's going to be, like Giannis or Luka's era. Maybe it's going to be Jokic's, and that's really cool. So, we all need to be decide now whether you're a Jokic hater or a Jokic fan. If you're a hater, I don't know why you do that, because that probably means you're an Embiid fan, and that is not the train you want to ride, my friend. You don't want to be on the Embiid side of history. It is a losing side. I don't have faith in Joel Embiid winning the NBA Finals as the best player. I just don't see it. This take could age poorly, but I legitimately believe it. So, Jokic 1-5. So proud of him. Love him. Great job, Jokic. And this entire Nuggets team. It was a great, great team, and I think it's been a great finals. And the end of one of the best NBA seasons. I think this was an incredible season. There's a lot going around on Twitter about how it's the funniest NBA season, and I agree. It was a hilarious season. There was a lot of funny moments, but I think this was the culmination of how I've been saying, we've been having Hood Classic seasons just back to back. I think this is the culmination of that idea, where, at 2020, you got cut off from a great season. I mean, the bubble was awesome, I will say. The bubble was fun. But the Lakers winning it just left a bad taste in everybody's mouth. I don't think anybody wanted to see that but Lakers fans. I know that for a fact. LeBron stans and Lakers fans are basically this. I mean, there's a little bit of Lakers fans that aren't LeBron stans. There's a little bit of LeBron stans that aren't Lakers fans. But no one likes it when either of those groups get what they want. So, Then it's 2021. A lot of people are behind the Suns. And then we got the Bucks finals. And it's really hard to hate Giannis. So that was great. And then the 2022 finals, it felt like there weren't anybody really wanting the Celtics to win. I mean, I rooted for them just because, but really not a lot of any people were buying into the Celtics thing. Not a lot of people wanted to see them win. But everybody respects that finals made people respect Steph Curry and the Warriors a lot more, and I think that was a cool thing to happen. Have pretty much the entire basketball world be you know what? Yes, Steph is great, and I think that was cool. And then this year's finals, we have a crazy playoff run by the Heat, an insane playoff run. We can't underrate the fact that the 8 seed did that well. I mean, that was crazy. And so an insane playoff run by the Heat, and then on the other side, a great playoff run by the Nuggets, and Jokic cementing himself as the best player in the league. I think both sides of it were really good this year. I think 2021's the best argument as a season better than this, but 2021 had a lot of injuries. And this year had some injuries, but I think, honestly, it was a Hood Classic season. And it was the culmination of all this time we've been having with, what I've been saying, the NBA's been on a great track record. Like I said, that 2019 finals changed everything and put us on a great track. And I think we're going to be in this era of amazing basketball for a while. And eventually there's going to be a team that comes along that dominates. And let's hope that's the San Antonio Spurs. I'm riding that Victor Wembanyama train, guys. I mean, I'd love for it to be the Nuggets. I'd love for the Nuggets to three-peat. But I'm saying, the next era we get where it's just every year you feel you really should just pick the same team. Even though I could see the Nuggets, winning next year's finals, or I could see the Bucks, and, it doesn't feel like a sure thing. Whereas we were in an era there where it was you just pick the Warriors every year and you're fine. And I don't think we're going to be in that way for a while. I think it's a very good thing. We're in a very competitive league. And so I love that. I think, it's great. Speaking of, on the plane ride home, I rewatched No Way Home. It might be the best Marvel movie. I know I come on the podcast and I say, well, if I did my MCU ranking again, I might not put it as the best. No, it legit might be the best MCU movie. It's tough. The best MCU movies, I'd say right now in my mind, it's that, Guardians 3, Infinity War. Those are the top. Guardians 1, those are the top ones in my mind. Endgame, it's top 5, right? It's hard for me to say what the best MCU movie is. To me, it's got to be Guardians 1, Guardians 3, or No Way Home. Those are the 3 best, being honest. That's the closest we're going to get for me having a definitive one, because that's really tough. They all do different things so well. Guardians 1 is a perfect introduction movie. Guardians 3 is a perfect finale movie. And then No Way Home is the perfect, to me, what you wanted to see from a superhero movie. The big event movie, I think it perfected the event movie. Honestly. At least for me. But that's because I'm a big Spider-Man guy. I haven't seen Across the Spider-Verse. I've been in Europe. I'm going to see that at some point within the next week. Going to see Flash. Might see Transformers if I have time. We'll have to see. But definitely going to see Across the Spider-Verse. I can't wait. I feel like I'm going to love it. I really liked Into the Spider-Verse. It's not my favorite Spider-Man movie, even though I'm a big Spider-Man fan. I think if I was 5 years younger and I grew up with that movie, it probably would be my favorite Spider-Man movie. It's not, but I still love it. And I think I'm going to like the Across the Spider-Verse even more, and I can't wait. And I think there's a Donald Glover part in it. Like, I think he cameos. That's like the only thing I've had spoiled for me is that Donald Glover's in it. And I don't care if that's spoiled because it'll instantly be the best part of the movie that Donald Glover's in it because I'm a huge Childish Gambino fan. I'm a huge Donald Glover fan. I'm going to flip out in the theater. No one's going to be that hype anymore because it's been out for like 3 weeks when I see it. But I'm going to like flip out in the theater. I'm going to stand up and cheer and like blow kisses at Donald Glover. I love Donald Glover. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. But yeah, so I'm going to see that this week and I'm excited. And I said I was going to be committed to the Nuggets. So let me just say, Jokic is the best player in the league. Can't believe the Nuggets won the finals. Hood Classic season, the best NBA season. And I'm out.